Hi and welcome to my PlayHouse, and today we're gonna be playing along with some network switches, especially the new Ubiquiti 48-port switch, which is really a 52-port switch that Unky Joe sent me, and I'm still crunching through the candy he sent me also. So if you haven't checked out Unky Joe's PlayHouse, well, he makes some interesting videos on subjects that you might like as well. But today I have another box on my makeup table here. Not a makeup, but make up. I made it whatever. I have some DAC cables, and they look like this. This is the longest one I've got, I believe 3 meters. And what this is, it's an SFP plus, but with a copper cable between them. And this should be very smart in the data center for short distances, because I know that one of these little SFPs can be quite expensive if you get a good one. I know that, well, about $130 I was told. They can be a lot more expensive, but well, the ones I got, like an SFP like this, would be around $130 if you're unlucky and get it the wrong place. And you need one in each end, you know, and then you need a cable between them, and those cables are usually, well, here in Denmark, around 100 Danish kroners, so that would be $15–16. So this long DAC cable that I got was $20. Do you see the benefit? And there is no fiber optic cables between that, and I am told that the latency can actually be smaller on these cables. They don't have to convert the signal from electric to light, travel the light. The light is quite fast, and then convert the light back to electric. The speed of light is of course the speed of light, and electric cables, they are slower, but they are still about 80–90% of the speed of light. So you only have to lose like 10–15% in the conversion from electric to light for this to be a better deal. So, well, price wise, we're gonna test this anyway. And I got a new switch. I showed that in a video. Well, that's also the video where I got the candy. So we're gonna try and hook that up with a DAC cable. But I haven't adapted that switch in my UniFi setup yet. So I think we should go to the computer and adapt that first, so that we can see what we have. Okay, so here are my UniFi setup. And I'll be looking over there because that's where my screen is. But we can see the bottom thing here is the UniFi switch, and we can go over here and we can adopt it, upgrade, but adapt right there. So we're gonna be doing that because this is gonna be the switch that most of my servers will be connecting to. I also have the 10 gigabit switch out there, and that will be used as well. So many of the servers will be going over to 10 gigabit. The servers that I use the most will probably get a 10 gigabit interface, just so that, yeah, we will slowly be going in that direction. But I really need this 1 gigabit switching as well. So let's adapt this. That will just take a second, or probably a minute. And we might as well run that update while we're at it. There might be some nice new features. We don't want to miss out on those. It has completed the adoption of my new switch. Sometimes this takes quite a while on this Ubiquiti UniFi setup controller thing, but sometimes you can just press the F5 button and it has completed. It just hasn't updated the screen yet, which is pretty annoying. That it should really update the screen when there's a change to it. That would be awesome. Ubiquiti, that's a free one for you. So let's upgrade this. Let's see what it comes up with. Tells me about the firmware here. So right now the firmware on the switch is a 3.3.14 blah 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 something, and the firmware available is a 3.9.19. So it seems like a big update. So we'll confirm that, and that will be rolling on. And I do also want to give this switch a new name, which I'll have to think about. Naming things is not my strong side. It takes me a while to actually come up with a good name. Okay, it's done. So it has moved the place of the switch, so now it's up here. So if we connect to it, we can see all the connections that I made yesterday, and most of this is orange. That's 100 megabit connections, and some of them are green. That's 1 gigabit connections. There is no white connections yet, and those should go out here. Those two ports, there's an SFP plus 1, and there is an SFP plus 2 connection out there. So I'm hoping to connect one of those up to the 10 gigabit switch. But let's see if we can give this a alias. Their alias, because this MAC address, well, it's just not cool. So I've called the other one 10 gigabits and 1 gigabit switches. So I guess this is a 10/1/10 gigabit. I don't know. I'll come up with a name and be right back. Okay, this was the name I could come up with, so let's just save that. So now it's gonna be called 1G48Port backbone switch. Awesome. So save that. Did I hit it? No. Tried to see in the camera, didn't work. It went down there. Weird. Update. It went still. Oh, yeah, moved up. So let's go connect one of those DAC cables. I don't know if we can see where this is uplinked. It doesn't really show an uplink port. I'll have a look around. Details. Uplink port 9. So port 9. It says it's an uplink port, but is this to this machine? No, that shouldn't. We'll go check that out if port 9 is the uplink port. Okay, here we are on the back of my racks, and port 9 comes here. We follow it through the cable mess, and it goes over into this server, and that's actually my main 24 server. So the internet comes in here and is routed to come out here. So the uplink port is where it sees the internet coming from. So that's not the one we really want. Oh, the light diode has turned blue over here because now it's adopted and everything. So we want one of these SFPs to go up here, and we might as well take, I think, number 12 here. Let's see, 12. I have been trying to do some cable management. Please notice that. Let's see, 12 goes down in and connects to port 35. So we're gonna try and replace that with a DAC cable. And let's see, that's probably a meter. So we'll go see if I got a meter DAC cable out here. This is an impossible angle. Okay, they have actually put a label on these cables, and this says 3 meters. So this is the longest one I got. So let's see, this is definitely shorter. And there is, looks like a meter, doesn't it? Let's go see if this will do. Okay, I just measured the cable loosely with my, just putting it up there, and 1 meter is gonna be stretching it, but I'm gonna try to put it in anyway, just to see how it looks. Luckily, it's the very closest port that I need to put it in, if we put it in 12. So I'll try that and show it to you. Okay, this is never gonna go.
Yeah, I wanted to go out into the cable arms. If I took it around the cable arms and just straight over everything, it would fit, but that's not the way to do it. Even in this mess, I will know that that's gonna be a mess. Back in the bag with that one, I even put on the nice thingies. So let's see what else I got. This is also a meter, I guess. This is not needed. Another meter. This one is longer. Wonder how long this is. That's a 3 meter. I'm guessing that this one is 2 meters. It's a bit of a shame because it really only needed to be 10 centimeters longer, but well, you don't get that. So let's go try that one instead. Okay, so this one is of course long enough. Let's see if we plop that in. Do we get a connection? Let's see. Yep, it's white. So we even have a 10G connection between those two. Awesome. And the cable is good. I have had to stuff it in here because there is almost a meter extra cable hanging out, so that's a drag. Awesome. So here at my UniFi controller, I now have a little white dot here, which is really hard to see. It's not a good color for that, but well, it's there and that's cool. So we can press that and we can go and configure this port. I'm not ready for that yet. We have to configure a lot of VLANs and stuff. I do have some VLANs that I've been messing around with, but I'm not ready to make it a smart switch yet. Right now it's just more or less a dumb switch. I also need to take some configuration from the 10 gigabit port here. I have kind of used these RJ45 connections that are also 10 gigabit, and I've used those for my internet, and it's really a waste using a 10 gigabit port for like a 30 megabit internet connection coming in, and well, I'll have to fix that at some point because that's just so wasteful. But I was looking at this switch. Let's go back. 48 port. It has some SFPs out here, the 1 gigabit SFPs, and I really don't know what I could use those for. But then I came up with, I actually have 2 Dell Ecologic SANs that has SFPs that I have never used. So I was wondering if I could plug those in there, then I would free up some RJ45 connections. Not that I am at the moment missing any, but I would like to use those 2 ports for something meaningful. And as this DAC cable should be pretty good, that would be a really good use for it. Okay, here we are around the back, and these are Ecologic SANs. And well, it's a SATA 2 controller module, and it has 3 Ethernet ports and 3 SFP ports. There are 2 of these. They are really redundant. I could actually just pop out this one. I haven't been using that for anything, but I unplugged the RJ45 connections and I put in the DAC cable instead, and it just kept the connection. So I guess it's still good. It probably shares these 2 connections inside, so probably no benefit of it whatsoever. But now it's at least running on a DAC cable, and it's running from this SFP1 down here. And if we look beneath that, where they have placed the lights diodes really stupidly, actually they are connected. This one is green, which means 1 gigabit, and the other one is white, which means 10 gigabit. So awesome. I'll go check if this works, otherwise I'm in trouble. In here in the Ubiquiti UniFi controller, we can also see that it has connected with a 1 gigabit connection over here, right beside the 10 gigabit connection. And I've just been in the WebSphere client here, and over here, over under storage, I still have access to both of them. These are the Dell Ecologic iSCSI SANs, and they are still both working. So I have a good connection. Right now I'm continuing this cable management thing, and there is no room for filming back here. But I have just bored a couple of holes here. See if we can get those cables out of the way. And I'm gonna attach one of these arms for cabling right there. And screw that in. I have some well, it's not self-tappers, but I found that they work really well, making their own little thing in the metal here. The big problem is really to drill. The big problem is really to drill the holes in the racks here. There is one piece of metal, but there's another piece of metal behind it. So, well, these are not gonna fall out. Let's just say it that way. I'm measuring out. I don't need there to be a cable management arms all the way down. So what I do, I put one here, and then I put the next one on top of that one. That was the one that just fell down, and I marked that out, and I drilled 2 holes here with my trusty Ryobi drill bit. This one. So I'm gonna be doing that. It's impossible to film that. I can fake it. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Cool. 2 holes. Done. Putting in the next bracket. Okay, I got 3 of these mounted today. And I got 2 holes half drilled before I broke the drill bit and had to stop, because I did have another drill bit. These are 2.5 millimeter drill bits, but that one was so dull that I could be here all week. So far I'm down this far, and now the camera is on auto, and that's a drag. So a little bit more cable management. Awesome. Down here is my storage server, the new Lenovo X3550 with these 2 disk shells on them. And well, I connected that with fiber optic cable, so I wanna replace that with the DAC cable instead. So I'll try and do that and see if this will connect up, and see if the server will still be connected to the switch, and if it will have a network connection. Otherwise, well, this would be a bad test, right? So I'll do that and be right. So the storage server is this one. It's a port 4, and over here on the switch, port 4 is connected. Also port 12, which is the one that I have connected down here. That is also 10 gigabit, so that is connected to the other switch. So this is going really well. So let's see what the network says here. Let's see. Computer managed. There are updates available. Thank you for interrupting my work. And you can only show updates, and then you can tell it to oh, let's just go into the network then. There's a nice little network there. We can go properties on network, and then we can network port 6 is connected. Let's see, change adapter and settings. Network 6, 10 gigabit. Let's see what it says. It says that it's running 10 gigabit and it has been up for 7 minutes and 50 seconds. That's about right. I've been moving the camera and stuff, so I think that's okay. That's cool enough. Okay, I have actually been doing a bit of cable management back here. It's hard to see, but I have been doing it. So I have also changed the cabling of these 3 hosts here. So each of them now has a 10 gigabit DAC cable, and that goes up to port 1, 2 and 3 in the 10 gigabit switch. 1, 2 and 3. Looks very nice. This one goes down to the storage server. This one is the uplink to the 48 port switch, and down here at the 48 port switch, that's the uplink port, and this is for the storage, the Ubiquiti storage SAN. So, well, I have been doing a bit, and I did install these thingies here. So cool. I just turned on these 3 servers to make sure that they got a connection here. So I went out and I purchased some DAC cables where they said that they were compatible with Ubiquiti switches, and as you can see, I have had no problems whatsoever. They have come up every time. Haven't checked these 3 hosts yet, but I would expect that they would be working just fine. Wouldn't even have realized that they had lost their fiber optic cable like this one. So the big benefit of this is really the price of these. These are way cheaper than these. The cable itself over here is cheaper, but combined with the FSPs, well, it gets more expensive. The DAC cables are, you're not supposed to have them very long. When they become very long, well, the speed of light, I think, is the main contributor to actually going over to fiber optic cables again, because at some point the speed of light does matter. And there is the compatibility problems with these cables, where when you have a cable like this, well, you can change the FSP, but as the SFP is often more expensive than this entire cable, well, it's not really an excuse. So the FSP does have some advantages, like this SFP, where you can put in an RJ45 connector, and you can run, well, this is just a 1 gigabit RJ45, but that is kind of neat too, that you have this option. I have gotten my feet wet with 10 gigabit Ethernet. I do need to go out and shop for some more cables, because the length that I have gotten wasn't entirely what I needed. I thought that I would be needing these, but well, these 3 meters, they're really long. I've only used one of them. What did I use that for? Storage server. Yeah, I put that in the storage server, that's right. I really need some that are 1.5 meter or 2 meters. That would be awesome. I'll go check if I can get some more. I would very much like to hear your experience on these DAC cable, DAC cables. What are your experience? What are the benefits? What are the downsides? And also, if you want to know the upside and the downsides, please go read the comments below and see what everybody else is writing. I get a lot of good knowledge that way, so reading the comments is a really good place to get some awesome suggestions on how I could have done this, which they're always down there, but a lot of it is very usable. Some of you linked me to products that I didn't know about, or products that are very, very cheap. I got links for these cables where I could have gotten them in Germany instead of getting them from China, and the price was about the same, so I'm gonna do that next. Thank you very much for watching my videos. Do subscribe to my channel. Join me over at Facebook, where I also have a page, and have a really nice day. Bye bye!